Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions. It's time once again for the Washington DC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. We took a bit of a distraction from our regularly scheduled programming last week to race some Formula Vs at Long Beach, but the field is back in their GT4s, ready to resume the championship points paying races. And we're here in virtual Japan at Suzuka Circuit in Mie Prefecture. This is going to be an incredible round of the championship if this circuit is anything to go by. One of my favorites for sure, and one of the best in the world. Bringing it to you live here on the Pit Road Productions YouTube channel. It's me, Reese Gardner, with Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box. Zippy, is Suzuka on your Princess Approved track list?
It's one of those tracks I can drive, Reese, but it's not on my favourites list. It's not Road Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, which, fair to say, we know I love Road Atlanta, especially after last night's event. I definitely enjoyed putting your foot in your mouth on that one, Reese. Friendly banter here between the commentary staff, but no, Suzuka, honestly, it's a fantastic track. I've always struggled with the start of it, where you got the inverted S's and stuff like that, but the most difficult corner for me is the left-hander. You're going to know the one I mean, the long left-hander where it kind of tightens up before you go down the hill, and I think it goes through 301R, if I remember rightly. Is that corner so challenging? Absolutely so challenging.
You might be referring to Spoon?
Spoon, fork, knife, straw, doesn't matter. I'll use it if I can eat it. But yeah, definitely.
Right, fair enough.
It's not one of my favorites, but I gotta admit, it is a really good track, and it's got some great scenic views as well, Reese. But I think it's gonna make for some good racing, especially with the GT4s here. It's one of those tracks I feel if you push too hard, it will penalize you. So it really kind of adds a sense of discipline as well.
Yeah, I think in the GT4s, Suzuka is definitely a big challenge. Keeping those tire temperatures down is going to be the name of the game. While we're at it, let's have a look at where we've been and where we will be going after we're done with Suzuka. Well, first half of the season here has already been done. VIR Summit Point, Cabell Park in Mid-Ohio, then the special event of Formula Vs at Long Beach the day before Halloween. And then Suzuka here to kick off the second part of the season. Manicourt, Spa-Francorchamps, France and Belgium for rounds 7 and 8. Then we go down to Australia at the Bend, finishing off the season at Sonoma and Watkins Glen. A very nice schedule for this championship, Zippy. I'm looking forward to seeing how the drivers tackle a really challenging variety of tracks here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got to admit, there's definitely some tracks on there that are indeed on the Princess Approved track list. I'm getting thoughts mixed up, but the reason I say that is because we got Gwendolyn Hauser in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, and they would like to wish Jack Chrissy a very happy birthday, in which we will do that on your behalf for you. A huge happy birthday to Jack Chrissy. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully he has a good race here today. But you know what we should do? Reese, do we want to do sponsors first or points first?
I reckon we should have a look at the point standings. Just keeping an eye on how things are going for the top of the field. Well, DJ Alessandrini has cracked the hundo. He's at 100 points at the top of the standings. Colin Denner, 5 points ahead of Ken Housel. It's looking like the both of them are going to be the main championship fight up the top, along with Jake King and Adam Kobach. And, well, we can throw Mike Leader and Raul Iriarte in there as well. Very close gaps all throughout the top 7, top 8 as well for Frans Hansen. It's looking like there's going to be a lot of jigging and jiving with these top 8 in the championship, but so far not many people can catch DJ Alessandrini.
I mean, let's be real, it's DJ, ladies and gentlemen. The man is, I don't know if he really is a man or if he is indeed a machine behind the wheel. Certainly, he is indeed potent. But Reese, if you're ready, sir, let's get on with the wonderful sponsors we have here for the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League.
Indeed, supporting the Washington DC Region SCCA in real life. OG Racing is the official motorsports safety gear and equipment supplier to the Washington DC region, staffed by racers for racers. OG stocks everything from helmets, driving suits, shoes and gloves, seats, data systems, and top quality brake pads from PFC, Hawk and Paget. With over 35 years of supporting racers, OG Racing has earned a reputation for providing exceptional customer service in the industry, staffed by an expert team that ensures you have the gear you need to go fast and stay safe. Visit their 1,200 square foot warehouse in Sterling, Virginia.
That is indeed OG Racing. Let's take a look at the next sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, since 1976, Radial Tire Company, or Radial Motorsport, has proudly served the DC area, providing quality tires and exceptional service. Renowned as a premier specialist in hard-to-find performance tires and wheel applications, they stock tires from top manufacturers ranging from trucks to sports cars and racing machines. Their mission is to maximize your vehicle's potential on the road and the track. Ladies and gentlemen, the best money you can spend if you want to have fun at a racetrack is indeed the tires. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Radial Tire Company. Reese, as you were.
For over 30 years, RP Performance has been at the heart of racing as a neighbour to Summit Point and standing out as the premier race car shop specialising in street and track Mazdas. In addition to track support and transport, RP is a full-service shop, helping drivers with their racing and other track event needs. Known for their helpful attitude, RP works diligently to get cars back on track, ensuring positive experiences for all at all Summit Point events. RP has accrued many wins and championships as well within various classes, under the RP Performance banner.
Oh, absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's go on to our next sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed Belmont Classic Cars, a family-owned dealership located in Eastern Ohio, specializing in classic American muscle cars from the 1960s and the 1970s. They pride themselves on selling iconic rides and offer only cars they would want to add to their collection. Established in 2017, the owners, Andy and Dana Mistak, inherited their passion for cars from their fathers, avid enthusiasts of Chevy and Ford vehicles. Outside of the family business, the entire family has been involved in racing from motocross, trophy trucks, and their new endeavor of road racing, ladies and gentlemen. That is Belmont Classic Cars.
Finally, last but not least, Grand Touring Enterprises is an internationally recognized full-service classic automotive facility located in Frederick, Maryland, with a mission of keeping legends in motion. Their commitment to classic vehicles spans service, restoration, secure climate-controlled storage, sales, and consignment. Grand Touring also offers full collection-level consultation and management services alongside concours-level detailing. Their focus is on preserving the history and prestige of these vehicles and ensuring that the driving experience is equally spectacular and authentic. All right, huge thanks to every single one of the sponsors here that helped to make this series happen and make this broadcast happen as well. We are now in qualifying, and it would appear we have DJ Alessandrini out there on track at the moment through the Degner corners, already going to pole position, but only 0.07 of a second ahead of Diego Del Real. So let's see if that challenge continues to mount.
Yeah, well, that is actually one of DJ Alessandrini's good friends. He's been pestering Diego to come here and race with him. And ladies and gentlemen, I can see why. It looks like we've got some friendly competition going on here between DJ and Diego Del Real. So definitely going to be interesting to have him here on board. Right now, though, Franz Hansen, he's there on the third spot, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Raul Ariati is there just of absolute fraction behind him. But got to say, what an absolutely fantastic field. Reese, with a little bit of zippy math, I'm counting 29 drivers in the session today.
Yes, indeed. By my timing, which tells me how many drivers there are in the session, you are correct. 29 drivers are here today. So we're going to have a solidly packed field for the race at Suzuka today. It's going to be about 30 minutes in length. And, well, judging by the pace around Suzuka, that should be about 14 laps or so, maybe 15, depending on timing. Turn 1 is obviously the most challenging of them all when it comes to the negotiating on the first lap. It's obviously the scene where Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost came together in 1990. This is a track that's been the scene of a few big dramas in Formula One over the years.
Well, definitely a little bit unfortunate there, but I will say 1990, the best year on the planet, ladies and gentlemen, because that's when I joined the world. Not that I'm big-headed or anything like that. Well, you know I'm big-headed. You've seen me on camera, ladies and gentlemen. But right now we've got Michael Montello, and I do love this little bit of brotherly rivalry, because right now he is literally in 7th with his brother Anthony Montello right behind him in 8th, ladies and gentlemen. Some good rivalry there. It does look like we've got Kevin Zhu is indeed back. Reed Shannonbrook's back as well. Chris Harp's back. Good to see Tala Sadiq has made it back as well. Honestly, it's great seeing the regulars have indeed returned. Wally, though, I've got to admit, Wally, not yet posted a time.
Yeah, Wojtek Hajicek is leaving it quite late in the session to do his laps here. Already got 2.5 laps that have been tracked in the session so far. So this should be his final opportunity at a lap, or one of his final opportunities anyway. Drivers get 4 laps each to set their times for the grid. So, yeah. I gotta wonder if he'll have time to actually get that time on the board. Suzuka is a track where it's very easy to get the dreaded off-track 1X. As you can see, it's an old-school circuit with curbs and grass and gravel lining the track most of the way around. It does have some modern safety features like tarmac runoffs, but the curbs are quite thin as well, and every single turn is at the very limit of grip. So you do need to be precise and careful to get a lap done around here.
Absolutely. It looks like we may indeed get to see one more lap from Wally if indeed he can beat the time clock, ladies and gentlemen. Makes his way there through the chicane. Now, Reese, I know you are an absolute legend at doing track guides. If you'd like to do the honors now, as Wally is about to start his last flying lap here at Suzuka.
All right, let's see what he can do. Coming down the start-finish straight, DJ Alessandrini and Diego Del Real just trading pole position there. Braking into turn 1, a little bit wide on the way in for Wally there. You could hit the apex a bit more, but looks like a reasonable run through the first couple of corners here, and then it's all about getting the line exactly right through these S's. You're just searching for every apex. You don't want to push the car too hard through here. Scrubbing the fronts once will destroy your rhythm through the entire section, and sometimes entering the corners a bit slower than you'd like is going to grant you bulk time on the lap. Out through the Honda corner here, and then to Degner. This is going to be one of the most difficult turns to get right in the race. A hard kink to the right, immediately down on the brakes into a sort of semi-banked right-hander, 90 degrees on your way up to the hairpin. This is the slowest corner on the circuit, and there's plenty of space on the exit for cutbacks up the inside. There should be some interesting overtaking going on there. Flat out through 200R. This is the corner that leads us up to Spoon. It's basically a straight. It's flat out in every single car on the service. But then here's Spoon, a fast entry, fast first left-hander, and then you got to slow it down again. Just be patient getting on the throttle through this next left-hand. A bit of oversteer for Wally as he makes his way out onto the back straight. And then here comes the most challenging of them all, the dreaded 130R. Called that because originally it had a radius of 130 meters. It doesn't anymore. It's been reprofiled and made a little faster over the years to create more runoff, but it's still a very challenging corner and easy to make a mistake there, and braking hard for the Casio triangle, the chicane at the final sequence of the lap. Through the final corner, out to the start-finish line. Wally's going to try and shorten the run to the line as best he can here. And that's going to be lap done. That grants him 2 positions. 2 minutes, 13.5 seconds takes a lap around Suzuka for Wojtek Hajicek. For those up the front, it looks like DJ Alessandrini has just tipped into the 2-minute, 10-second bracket.
Yeah, DJ absolutely sending it there, managing to get his comrade by about 0.8 of a second. But Franz Hansen, I've got to say, fair play to him. He's only 0.02 of a second behind P2, the 22 car of Diego Del Real. So fair play to him. That definitely takes a bit of effort. Diego Del Real definitely packing a high I rating as well. He's showing up with 5,251 I rating. So it's fair to say he knows his way around a car. But I've got to say, this is one of my favorite liveries we have here in WDCR, at least when Dylan Newhart isn't running, ladies and gentlemen, because we got the Mustang has indeed returned to Japan.
Yes, indeed. Very good to see. I'm keeping an eye out. It looks like that's the end of the session. Yep, hard cut to the end of the session. Worth pointing out that the track temperature apparently went way up in qualifying. Drivers were discussing just how difficult the track was to drive because it was so loose. So, interesting stuff. Here's the grid. DJ Alessandrini on pole position with Diego Del Real, 0.088 seconds behind him. Franz Hansen and Raul Iriarte on row 2, with Jack Chrissy and Tom O'Gorman on row number 3. Michael Montello and Anthony Montello, the brothers, joining each other on row number 4, with Colin Denner and Adam Kobach rounding out your top 10.
As we have a look there at P11, it's going to be Mike Not the Dentist leader alongside Mr. Kevin Su. Heading back to P13, Reed Shanabrook's there alongside Thomas Lathrop, with Will Long in 15th and Cooper Van Horn in 16th. Chris Hart takes 17th with Jake King alongside in 18th, and Carla Sadiq in 19th with Wally, closing out your top 20.
In 21st is Jason Rode. Darian Taggart starts alongside him. Then it's Lewis Alessi and Timothy Homan on row number 12. Trenton McMillian in 25th place in the Mustang, with Charles Spaz Miller alongside him. Cameron Guth, Carlin Nunziata, and Jonathan Crane round out our field. And Jonathan Crane, well, he set a lap in practice, but didn't set one in qualifying, and he has yet to join the back of the grid, so I don't know if he's going to be taking to the start, but we have most of the drivers out there at the moment. Still waiting on DJ Alessandrini and Diego Del Real to get out there as well. They're just joining the front of the field now. And looking at the weather conditions, oh, it's a warm track, 49 degrees Celsius, Sippy. It's looking like a pretty warm day out there. The drivers are going to be dealing with soaring tire temperatures.
Yeah, that's an absolute scorcher, Reese. It's a little bit too much for me. Even 27 degrees of ambient temperature is warm, but 49 degrees Celsius, I gotta say, Reese, that is toasty, as they are indeed getting this race lap underway.
Yeah, and, you know, to extend on that point, Suzuka is a circuit with loads of long corners. That's a lot of work the tires have to do. And, you know, you turn into one of these corners, especially through Spoon, your right side tires, the temperature's just going to keep building and building and building all the way through. You get onto the straights and it offers some opportunity for the tires to cool down. But I think we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers having some understeer problems in the fast corners and oversteer problems coming out of the slow corners. That's generally what you see in these hot conditions. Maybe a little bit of tuning of the brake bias to the rear will be required.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things I never mastered, honestly, Reese. I'm more of adapt to the car rather than adapt the car to me. But don't get me wrong. I need to get on onto Swalio's course. Certainly, you want to get faster, check out Swalio Almeida, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed the Almeida Academy. We do actually broadcast that show on a Saturday as well. Have to be a member to be part of that. But certainly, if you want to get faster, that is indeed the way. As we've got DJ Alessandrini, he is indeed alongside Diego Del Real. Franz Hansen there, already looking to try and make a move. And I do know, so he's got no Ken Housel this week as well. He would normally be up there at the top of the standings, but Raul Iriarte is up there as well. Birthday boy Jack Chrissy, all of these guys getting ready to go. Mainly Porsches at the front of the field, but are we going to see the Mustangs fight back? As indeed this race goes green. Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway here at Suzuka.
Franz Hansen was tapping some Morse code on the back of DJ Alessandrini there on the run up to the start. Through into turn 1 we go, and Hansen gets up the inside of Del Real, up into second place, but tight on the exit. Del Real will have the entry into the S's. DJ Alessandrini skipping away as he usually does, and the field has to fall into single file here. Otherwise, you're going to lose a ton of time on the first lap. Through the S's we come. That's your gap for the lead right there. Diego will try his best to keep up with DJ. We'll see if he's successful in that. The battle will be for third on back as well. Franz Hansen has got Raul Iriarte alongside him there. McLaren around. I think that's Adam Kobach, and Thomas Lathrop is off as well. Michael Montello, Reed Shannonbrook, both Montellos losing positions there, and both Montellos have towed back to the pit lane. That was a big incident.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get another look at that in just a second. Right now, the event log is absolutely freaking out. And to quote, I feel so bad, but to quote Rob Campbell, that one did indeed have enough meatballs for a spaghetti dinner. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a replay and see what exactly happened there, Reese.
Yeah, so we've got 7 cars, actually 6 I think, that have been involved here. So keep an eye on Kobach, contact ahead, and oh no, that sent I think that ended up sending Montello into Montello, unfortunately. Anthony getting touched, and then his correction sent him into Michael in the McLaren. So that's not ideal. We'll see. Yeah, there was a checkup, and then he got contact from behind, and then went into his brother. That is not ideal at all. The 44 involved in that one, actually. No, not the 44. I don't know why I saw the number 44 there. That's Franz Hansen, who's running in third, but that's unfortunate. Quite a few cars taken out of the running on the first lap here, and we've still got the better part of 28 minutes to go in this race, keeping an eye on Darian Taggart just outside the top 10.
Yeah, it looks like indeed there were 5 meatballs in that event, but right now Darian Taggart is going to have to try and do everything he can to hold on. He's got a potential BMW ahead of him of Louis Alessi, currently up 11 positions, ladies and gentlemen, and it indeed is the hard charger in the grid right now, tied with Cameron Goof and indeed Kyle Lanunziata, who are a little bit further back. But right now Darian Taggart is going to have to not just try and catch up to the number 43 car, that BMW, but he's going to have to try and hold behind the 51 of Jason Rode in that classically inspired Marlboro livery.
Yes, that livery has certainly seen a lot of success at Suzuka in the past, particularly in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I noticed Jason Rode running wide through turn 1, but he trailed the brakes to hit the apex for turn 2. Trail braking is so incredibly important around this track. I think if there's any circuit that teaches you the importance of trail braking, Suzuka is it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And certainly, especially in the Porsche as well, you've always got to try and give a good bit of trail brake here. As right now, Wally is indeed under attack. Chris Harp, these guys have been battling for multiple seasons, ladies and gentlemen. I remember seeing these guys back in the M2 when we had the M2 here with WDCR. As you can see, a good amount of sand there, or indeed gravel there on the hairpin. As it looks like indeed they got side by side. Darian Taggart trying to make a move here on Louis Alessi. It looks like he's got it done, but for how long? The M&M BMW, how long can it last? He's going to be on the inside, at least for this corner, coming up to the right-hander and then the very sharp left-hander of Spoon.
Oh, there we go. Taggart will pass the BMW on the way in, but he washes out a little bit wide in the middle of the corner. There was half a look there from Louis Alessi. He trails the brakes, gets the car rotated, straightens out the exit, and now he has the slipstream down the straight to 130R. I've seen plenty of moves go awry here by trying to go side by side in this section. It looks like Louis Alessi decides discretion is the better part of valor. Not going to go for the move there. He's going to have to wait for another opportunity. Jason Rode sees them both drive away from him through 130R. I think a lot of drivers are really struggling to find the limit through that incredibly fast corner. Fastest lap so far to Diego Del Real, who is keeping DJ Alessandrini very close company at the front of this field. Rode, meanwhile, catching up to Louis Alessi as Darian Taggart says run away, and Timothy Homan says hello in the Mustang.
Yeah, the Mustangs are starting to get a little bit of an eye in there. He's going to hope that these two drivers keep battling, and that is exactly the technique he's hoping for. You see the Mustang run a little bit wide there through turn 1. What can the Cayman do, though? He's literally stuck to the back bumper of Alessi. Alessi has indeed been under fire, the poor guy, but right now, Jason Rhodes going to have a look in the rearview mirror as one of their Mustangs starts to make an approach.
Indeed, it's looking like a good run from Timothy Homan for the moment. He's gained 9 positions. In fact, the midfield is full of hard chargers thanks to that first lap incident. It looks like a two-way tie for hard charger between Cameron Guth and Carl Annunziata in 16th and 17th, but we have Wally, Darian Taggart, and Louis Alessi all up 10 positions as well. Very nice runs from all of these drivers. Speaking of Wally, he is under a lot of pressure from Chris Harp, who is up 6 positions himself, trying to break into the top 10.
Well, it looks like he may indeed get a run right now. He got a much better exit out of there, but you can see there on the exit and going onto the straight, Wally able to put his foot down a little bit further. Now, I do know the draft isn't the super potent in these GT4s, but it is still noticeable, ladies and gentlemen. Can Chris Harp use that draft here after Spoon to try and find his way up on the inside of 130R? I've got to admit, I don't think he's going to have the real estate to do it, but he is indeed certainly going to have the chance to try.
Looks like someone had a bit of a slide through Spoon there earlier. I thought for a moment that was one of them, but apparently not. Lanunziata, meanwhile, pushing a bit too hard through the S's and getting caught up on the gravel that's been strewn onto the racetrack as well. That's going to be quite a hazard throughout the course of this night's racing. All over the curbs at 130R for Chris Harp. That's definitely a slide trigger right there. I lost count of the amount of times I've caught the curb through there, and I've snapped around. It's a big possibility, especially in these hot track conditions. But with a few minutes gone of this race, about 7 minutes to be exact, we see another battle forming here. This is for the last spot on the podium. Franz Hansen sees DJ Alessandrini and Diego Del Real driving away from him, and rounding up in his mirrors, Raul Iriarte and Jack Chrissy in the McLaren. This is going to be a nice three-way battle that should continue for a little bit here. Depends on how you can enter these corners. Iriarte there trying his best to get it hooked up for the apex. Looks like a nice run from Jack Chrissy, but he's not going to be able to get it done into Degner. It's not traditionally a corner where you see passing happen, and you need to be really brave on the brakes to make the move here. It's the hairpin where you can make the move and set it up with a great exit from Degner too. Oh, Chrissy thought about it, but evidently is willing to wait a little bit longer. This is certainly turning into a difficult battle.
I gotta say, fair play to Chrissy. He's definitely trying to show a bit of aggression there. Don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily always about being able to get that move. It's about getting into the opponent's mind, their mindset, and seeing if you can indeed shake them, shake their concentration, and indeed force a mistake. But the whole time this is happening, Mike Leader is starting to close on in this battle as well. He's pulled in about 3 attempts, and then in the meantime, Colin Denner now going at it with Kevin Zhu. Is that Burger King?
Yes.
I think it says something else, but it's not burger.
I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
Oh my gosh,
Nürburgring King. Oh
Play.
my god. Oh my god, that's great. I love that. That's fantastic. Oh, slide ahead. That was, I think, Raul Iriarte that went off there, and that's caused some drama. Iriarte around, Zhu around, Colin Denner went off the track as well. That was a mess at the final chicane.
Well, it's fair to say he might be the Nürburgring King, but he was not he was not getting a happy meal out of that scenario. To see Rory Iriarte make his way down to the pits. Don't get me wrong, we have a quick look at the front. The battle is indeed staying on, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see DJ Alessandrini getting a little bit of pressure there. These two do keep pulling away. I have to wonder just how hard they're going to fight. If I'm not mistaken, yep, both of these guys, Lizard Brains podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I'm sure I'll be Googling that after the broadcast today. Interesting to note that these two are quite close on pace. There was a time in qualifying where they had the exact same lap time down to the 1,000th of a second. So they can really pressure each other in these Caymans. They're not afraid to use the curbs at Degner either. I love seeing how much pace you can get by maximizing these corners. Here comes Del Real for a try at the hairpin, but Alessandrini has the inside line for the hairpin entry. It looks like, Del Real going to try and commit around the outside, but the wide exit allows you to get on the power very early, and DJ Alessandrini stays ahead for the moment.
For the moment, I have a feeling that Diego Del Real is indeed going to make him work for it, ladies and gentlemen. The closest battle we have on track is right now for the lead. Don't get wrong, we do try and show everybody as much as we possibly can, but fair play to them. Both of them running a little bit wide there. I think we're going to get a little bit of a treat here today at Suzuka.
Yeah, I think we will. It's always good to see a few drivers breaking away and having their own little fight up the front. It may give half a chance to those behind to improve their podium positions, because there's always a chance that the two leaders will come together. Obviously, Alessandrini and Del Real are quite close, so they will have plenty of respect for each other and know where the limit is. So when there is some fighting, we know that it's going to be fun to watch. Just past 10 minutes into the race, we have 2/3 of the time to go. No pit stop expected for this race, and it's a fixed setup, so everyone is driving as close to each other as they can in terms of car settings, but As I mentioned, brake bias, traction control, and anti-lock brake settings are still changeable in-car on your way through the race. We have Kevin Zhu jumping into pit lane. We saw him involved in that incident at the final corner on the last lap. It looks like he decided to carry on, but the damage seems to be too much. No rear wing for Kevin Zhu. He's going to pick up a fast repair from that and maybe a splash of fuel if he is so inclined. Battle for 8th place. Chris Harp up 8 positions at the moment. See what he can do versus Wojtek Hajduczek here to break into 8th.
Absolutely fantastic battle so far, ladies and gentlemen, as indeed you can see that these two drivers have been easily matched. Look at the lap times, Reece. Certainly, you see one gain, you see another one lose. It's been a little bit of a topsy-turvy going on, but right now Chris Harp seems to have a little bit more pace these last couple of laps, but Wally has been able to hold on. Is Wally going to make him a little bit quicker? Is maybe Wally holding him up? There's only one way we're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, but we are indeed going to hold that for, as it looks like Lewis Deletti and Timothy Homan now get into a battle as well. Kaboom!
All right, let's see then what Timothy Homan can do. Timothy had been following Jason Rode and Lewis Alessi for quite some time here, and that's not the first time I've seen that happen for Lewis Alessi. He's had a bit of trouble slowing that BMW up for the hairpin. That's the whole reason he ended up losing to I can't remember if it was Darian Taggart or Jason Rode that he was battling with before, but yeah, that's how the pass was made for them. Lewis Alessi just running way too deep in their hairpin, and looks like Timothy Homan is granted a free position as a result of that as well. Up further, Jack Chrissy and Franz Hansen for the last spot on the podium, and it looks like Colin Denner has fallen back behind Mike Leader as a result. That's Del Real that's had a problem, and he's gotten into the wall out of 130R. Remember what I was saying before, Zippy, about that curb on the exit of the corner? That's what happens when you hit it the wrong way.
Yeah, that's definitely going to cost him, and indeed could indeed be the end of Diego Del Real's race, at least with DJ Alessandrini. But right now we're seeing Jack Chrissy, and it looks like, who's that right behind now? I think that may be one of the Montello brothers.
Yes. No, it's Adam Kovac. Adam Kovac running in 21st place at the moment. He's one of the drivers who had to spend quite some time in the pits, over 3 minutes to be precise. So he's fallen, it seems, 2 laps down. As, have a look at this fight here. Carl Annunziata got Cooper Van Horn right behind him. And that's a bit too deep in the Mustang. Running off the circuit for just a moment. But L'Annunziata is certainly seeing a lot of pressure here. He's up 12 positions from where he started. Wasn't quite able to get the time he wanted in qualifying. Okay, into the wall, and in a big way for Carl Annunziata. That is off and into the pits for him. And Charles Miller, meanwhile, the next driver to come a cropper of the curb at 130R into the right side wall this time, and spinning right back onto the racetrack. I would say good recovery, basically, but that has resulted in a lot of damage for him. So, over the battle for third again, Jack Chrissy starting to build up some pace here in the McLaren, but you got to be careful of those bumps on the exit of Spoon as well. Franz Hansen is going to have one heck of a race coming up here.
Yeah, I think the high track temps are really starting to play a number on these tyres. So we've got a couple of people here in the chat. Pace FC3S has joined us in the chat. It's one of those nights for a lot of people. I definitely agree, as Tala is also in the chat as well. If I'm not mistaken, Tala Sadiq, I don't think we've spoke to you before. Would you like to come in for an interview? If so, Pit Road Productions Discord, we'll have a quick chat with you, see what it was like from your point of view driving here at Suzuka, get a little bit of feedback on just how hot it is out there in Japan. But right now, Jack Chrissy doing everything he can. He's been battling Franz Hansen for a while, but not yet been able to put his nose ahead of that Porsche. Certainly the Porsche being definitely a little bit loose on the back end today, but very much the dominant car.
Yeah, indeed. The McLaren is really pushing, though. Let's see if Chrissy will be able to make some gains here. Suzuka is quite a hard track to pass at, in my experience. This entire first sector here, it's very difficult to make a move on someone ahead unless you have a really big pace difference, or you're on fresh tires and they're on worn tires. But apart from that, just the flow of the circuit is quite difficult to set up an out-braking move. It's not your typical F1 circuit with long straights leading into hairpins. You do need to keep great momentum up all the way through the lap here and try and get opportunities where they arise. One opportunity is up here at the hairpin, but I don't think Chrissy is close enough for a move under brakes. Hansen going to preemptively defend, though, in any case, and there's the cut underneath from Jack Chrissy. Does it grant him any extra momentum down the flat-out run to Spoon? A little bit. He's picking up a slight bit of slipstream as well, but I get the feeling this battle is not going to be over just yet. There is momentum for Chrissy, though.
Yeah, he's definitely applying all the pressure there as he's getting alongside there. Takes a little bit of a wider line. I don't think it's going to quite pay off for him. Well, saying that, I could be corrected. He's going to get a really good slipstream going down here. Are we going to see him move? Certainly, I don't think the straights are just quite long enough for you to be able to slipstream. If you're going to do it, it's going to have to be going into turn one, but he keeps applying the pressure. But I have got to wonder is, can he put a nose in far enough to try and force him off the line?
Yeah, that's basically how you're going to make a pass at Suzuka, is forcing your rival into a mistake. And I think through the S's, that'll be easiest to do because it's such a long rhythm section. You get one apex wrong and it ruins your flow through the entire first sector of the circuit. So maybe Jack Chrissy can stick the nose in where Franz Hansen does not expect and throw him off. Meanwhile, Battle of the Mustangs, Jake King and Colin Denner fighting over P6. Denner has got a few battle scars already from this race, and you can definitely tell he's got great pace over Jake King. It just goes to show with the amount of positions that they've both gained. Jake King up 12, Colin Denner only up 2. So Jake King a bit further out of position here. He wants to try his best to hold on to this place, but we know how skilled Colin Denner is. He's a usual podium finisher in this series. Yeah,
neither of these drivers are particularly a slouch. Certainly, I do love the irony, actually, of having a rodeo paint on a Mustang. Certainly just try and tame that horse, ladies and gentlemen. But the Mustang making a fantastic soundtrack. That beautiful V8 there, absolutely screaming into the mountainside. The fans there, they're cheering. They're having a good time. But I've got to say, fair play to him. It looks like Denner is indeed sharing the frustration here of Jack Chrissy, having a real hard time getting past this. He takes a little bit of extra curb there, gets a bit of a bounce, but able to keep control of that mighty stallion.
Yeah, the Mustang sounds just like the supercars down under. It's a fantastic engine note, and it's great to see the Mustang being added to the GT4 class here in iRacing. Meanwhile, look at this fight. Trenton McMillan at the back of this one, and he's got Cooper Van Horn, Raul Iriarte, and Cameron Guth all battling over the last position in the top 15, and Raul in particular is looking to make some gains here. He moves up the inside of Cameron Guth at Degner, and the opportunity's open for Cooper Van Horn as well. Cameron Guth falling back to P17. Can Trenton McMillan in the Mustang find his way past? No, he's going to lift off early. He decides it's not the opportunity just yet. It will come to him eventually, but Raul Iriarte is certainly the most grateful for that one. He's already skipping away.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit of a buy one, get one free. Let's take a numbered view here. See, that just gets up on the inside, absolutely snakes by. Then right behind, you just see a nose put in, and I felt sorry for Cameron on that one. He got absolutely shafted, but fair play. Good bit of driving there by the guys to seize that opportunity.
Yeah, Degner won. You've got to get on the brakes and turn in at the right time, otherwise, well, you know, you saw it right there. Cameron did hit the apex, but he was carrying too much speed through it. He had to stay on the brakes to avoid running off. So now he's at the back of the pack, and it looks like Trenton McMillan made the pass as well. Was this another case of running deep for Cameron Guth? No, it actually looks like Cameron let Trenton by. So that's going to sort that battle out for now. We will still have Franz Hansen and Jack Chrissy fighting over P3. This is the highest battle in the field, as after that mistake for Diego Del Real, DJ Alessandrini now leads by 3 seconds at the front of this field. So nothing to really talk about in the lead battle for the moment. A lot of curb usage for Hansen, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly, you know, Hansen's definitely working hard indeed. He's very aware of that McLaren right behind him. And the Porsche has definitely been probably the most popular car choice as well. Literally, it's, I'd say, a good solid 3/4 of the field today are, in fact, in Porsches. I'm not really seeing the Aston Martins out today, Reese. I've got to say they're a little underrepresented today here at Suzuka.
Yeah, they are indeed. So is the Mercedes. It seems that these guys are going for either the Mustang, the Porsche, or the McLaren, with a couple of BMWs sprinkled in from time to time. Yeah, the Aston, I understand. You can get some great pace out of the Aston Martin Vantage, but its gear ratios are very different to the other GT4s. It preserves the gear ratios of the road car, so you do have some very interesting gearing choices in corners, and in some places it can lose a lot of pace to these other cars that have more conventional race car gear ratios.
Oh, here we go.
There's the move. Jack Chrissy trying on Franz Hansen around the outside of the Casio triangle. Room is given. Great respectful racing between these two drivers, and it looks like the defense is on there for Franz Hansen. That was a lovely bit of racing right there, but you can tell that Jack Chrissy is on the attack.
Yeah, I've got to wonder what is going to win out, patience, the tyres, or indeed Franz Hansen at this point, as Jack Chrissy is working very, very hard. Don't get me wrong, we want the birthday boy to have a beautiful race, but I do have to wonder if it's going to end in tears. The defensive game from Hansen has been absolutely on point, but for how long can he sustain it? Certainly, he's going to be working hard. He's going to be sweating. He knows that Diego Del Rio and Alessandrini have indeed checked out. This is the fight for the final spot of the podium.
Yep, and the potential for an interview here on Pit Road Productions at the end of the broadcast. Looks like in some places Chrissy is using the curbs a little more just to rotate the car. Hansen here, let's see how aggressive he is at Degner 1. Oh, he misses the curb that time. That granted maybe a fraction of a second to Jack Chrissy, who is looking supremely confident in the McLaren now. He must have wound the brake bias back a little bit for that opportunity. Narrow line into the hairpin for Franz Hansen. He seems pretty comfortable doing that because he can use all the width of the circuit on the exit to regain the momentum that he may have lost. So I think Chrissy's going to have to work something out here. Hope for a mistake from Chrissy, because the pass is proving a lot more difficult to make than he would have thought. That's deep into Spoon, though. Wide at the apex, outside the white lines, and he'll have to try and size something up from here.
Yeah, I do have to wonder if the strategic off-track may come into play, but that's the furthest back we've seen him, as I believe something has indeed happened with Timothy Homan. The kaboom has indeed gone off. Ladies and gentlemen, what has happened here? He's falling back through the order. Let's take a quick look here at the replay and find out exactly what just went on.
Yeah, rejoining just ahead of Cooper Van Horn there. So Kevin Zhu on the recovery here, making his way past, and oh dear, oh, getting caught up on the grass there for Timothy Homan, and that is going to result in him going off there. Yeah, that run into the hairpin, the kink on the way in, is basically one line fits all. You can go side by side there, but you need to have a lot of faith in your tires and the drivers around you.
Absolutely, and certainly these tyres are indeed getting a little bit warm, as it looks like Wally is still going at it, but we have one more car in the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, Darian Taggart has joined the party.
Battle for the last few places in the top 10 here, and that's a place. Chris Harp running deep in turn 1, and lets Darian Taggart go. Darian now assuming most positions gained in the field. With that place gained, he is up 13 spots from where he started. Very impressive run there. Now the battle for the Mustangs continues. Timothy Homan recovering ahead of Cooper Van Horn after his incident, and now Cooper sees the slipstream down the front straight. That's a bit deep there for Timothy Homan. He's going to go straight off all the way into the tarmac runoff, taking the original line of turns 1 and 2. The circuit has been reprofiled a few times over the years, particularly in the first sector. So now Trenton McMillan will stand a chance of moving 9 places up if Timothy Homan can't find some level of consistency here.
Yeah, I think he's maybe got a little bit too much heat in them tyres, a little bit of gravel on them perhaps, and certainly the track temp is indeed an absolute scorcher. If we take a quick look, it is absolutely roasting. 47 degrees Celsius, ladies and gentlemen. It's cooking out here in Suzuka.
It's a little bit lower than it was at the start of the race, but still quite warm on the tarmac. There's going to be a lot of stress, a lot of heat being put through these tyres. Chris Harp then looking to move back past Darian Taggart. Gets on the power nicely out of Spoon and will pick up a tiny bit of slipstream, but it would appear that Darian Taggart has a little more momentum on his way through there. We are rapidly approaching the end of this race. Every time we do WDCR, the races just fly by. 30 minutes isn't nothing, but it tends to go by a lot quicker than you think.
It sure does, Racing. We got to say a huge thank you to him for putting on such an absolutely fantastic show. As right now, Darian Taggart is indeed trying to get away. We know he's got pace. Looking at lap time, though, just checking the best laps of these three drivers. If I do a comparison, honestly, they're all pretty evenly matched. Certainly, it looks like Wally's got it. No, Darian's the quickest by about 2 tenths, and it'd be Wally with a 13.5 and then Chris Hart with a 13.7. But honestly, it could go either way, especially the way that the track is evolving. Indeed, the tyres are starting to fall off a little bit there. I think these guys are really starting to struggle a little bit with the heat.
Yeah, it does look like it. You can see it in the car behavior. Taggart in particular, they're struggling to get the car to the apex, tap of the brakes, and he's starting to struggle with the rear end through here as well. Just winding on as much steering as you dare. You don't want to scrub those fronts because otherwise that'll overheat them and you'll get a ton of understeer. Look at the oversteer through that corner as well. I've never seen a car oversteer like that through that left-hander at the end of the S's, and he's soaring away at the wheel through the Degnas too. Yeah, this heat is doing a number on these tyres.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of correction, Reese. I gotta say, fair play to him. He is working hard. But we're gonna rejoin it here as it looks like Jack Chrissy has indeed caught back up now to the back of Franz Hansen. An incident for Carl Annunziata. We'll take a look at that in a few short moments, but I'm wondering if Chrissy's going to be able to get a chance to make his way by. As I say that, though, Louis Alessi now getting into it here with Raul Iriarte.
Looks like, yes, indeed, Iriarte back past there. So now Iriarte is only down 9 positions. Louis Alessi back to up 9 places. And the pass was made at Degna 1, which you almost never see.
Yeah, definitely took a lot of curb there. Let's find out what happens to Kyle Annunziata as well.
This is in the S's. You can see that the car is struggling to respond to what L'Annunziata wants from it, and the rear end gets loose. I mean, a little bit of rotation through that corner is needed for the optimum line through, but that's a little bit too much rotation there. And in hot conditions, once the tyres go, once you start sliding, it's almost impossible to recover. Final lap has begun. And the battle is still on here for Franz Hansen and Jack Chrissy for P1. DJ Alessandrini now away by 3.1 seconds. And doesn't look like Del Real is going to catch him. So now our focus will be on the Porsche and the McLaren here for the last 2 spots on the podium. That car behind them is a lapped car. That's Adam Kobach, who's still running down in 19th place. That's a little bit wide there on the exit for Franz Hansen. Could this give the momentum to Jack Chrissy that he needs? Defensive into Degna 1, but you can use a bit of a cutback maneuver here to get up the inside at Degna 2. The McLaren has a look up the inside. Space is left, but it's not going to be successful.
Yeah, it looks like the Porsche's just got a little bit of a lick there on the straightaways. The McLaren a little bit more nimble, but not being able to capitalize here. The straight's just long enough for Franz Hansen to hold on as Kobach now. Honestly, if this is the time where you wanted an ally, you can almost do a Kobach, giving you a little bit of a bump just to try and give you a little bit of a bump there going down the straight. But Chrissy has been working hard all night trying to make his way past Franz Hansen. I've got to say, it's been a fantastic defense, but can he hold on to the checkered flag?
That is the question. Oh, speaking of the checkered flag, DJ Alessandrini on his way to it. 100% win record thus far this season. And looks like he is going to maintain it, at least when it comes to championship points paying races. Alessandrini wasn't here for the Formula V special event at Long Beach last week. But out of the final corner he comes, and that is going to be another win on the books for DJ Alessandrini. Dominant as usual. Diego Del Real was giving him a lot of pressure. Final moves for the podium here. Jack Chrissy can't find his way past Franz Hansen. Could he gear up something on the exit of the final corner? No. no, unfortunately. He's going to try his best to shorten the run to the line, but the 44 is already out ahead, and Franz Hansen gets your final spot on the podium.
Gotta say, fantastic battle as we return here with Darian Taggart. Chris Harp still very much in pursuit. It is indeed Porsche versus Porsche, and it looked like Harp got a really good exit there, at least on the way in, but on the way out, absolutely putting the hammer down was Darian Taggart in the number 29, and it's fair play. He's opened up the gap and secured P9. Chris Harp has to settle for being in the top 10.
Oh, yeah, close to the line for all of them. The next closest battle is this one between Trenton McMillan and Timothy Homan, and it looks like Trenton has the gap he needs to maintain that place. This is the battle for 16th at the moment, and it would appear, despite some gains being made in the braking zone, Trenton McMillan not quite hitting the apexes there. It's still not enough for Timothy Homan to get that position back, and so the Mustang finishes in P16 and the Kaboom car finishes in P17 as a result. And Cameron Guth in the background there, the last car to cross the line and finish the race in P18. So with that, looks like that is the race over. And we can go through our results. So DJ Alessandrini, Diego Del Real, and Franz Hansen are your podium. Three of only 4 cars to finish in the same position they started in, the other being Kevin Zhu in 12th. Jack Chrissy and Mike Leader round out your top 5. Jake King, Colin Denner, and Wojtek Hajacek up 12 places there to finish in P8. But Darian Taggart is your hard charger, up 13 places to 9th, finishing ahead of Chris Harp.
As you have a look there at P11, it's going to be Jason Roder, Kevin Zhu alongside in 12th. Aurora Ariati, he really took a little bit of a hit there today. He ended up down 9 positions in 13th with Louis Alessi in 14th. Cooper Van Horn took 15th with Trenton McMillan in 16th with Timothy Homan in close pursuit for 17th. In 18th, we had Cameron Goof, Adam Kobach. He had a front row view to that fantastic battle up for P3. He was there, though, in 19th with Kyle Annunziata, closing out your top 20.
First car's a lap down there. 8 laps down for Charles Miller. Managed to make it back out onto the track ever so briefly. Will Long classified in 22nd place. The Montello brothers, Michael and Anthony, sent into each other on the first lap. They'll be very unhappy with how tonight went for them. Lathrop, O'Gorman, Shannabrook, and Sadiq rounding out your field of drivers that took to the start of the race. Jonathan Crane was not present for the race there. So it's time to move into our interview phase, and I believe DJ Alessandrini will be the first driver we talk to here. Welcome, DJ. Congratulations on yet another victory in this season at WDCR. It looked like Diego was pressuring you quite early on.
Yeah, he was bringing it. Diego's he's really fast, and just these little mistakes are catching him out right now. But yeah, Diego at some point's gonna figure that out, and then we're gonna have like a real fight on our hands, and I'm looking forward to it.
As are we, but yeah, you talk about making small mistakes. I think with the conditions being the way they were tonight, small mistakes cost you a lot, especially around a track like this with so many long, high-load corners.
Yeah, toward the end of the race, the rear tires on the Cayman really started to fall off. So if you were, I think if you were kind of like doing little drifts out of corners one too many times, I think you would have been really struggling at the end of the race. Just because the last like 2 or 3 laps for me were just, it felt like I just had to tiptoe on the throttle to keep the thing in a happy state. Because once you go for a slide, then the tires are a little flashed, and then it kind of messes up the balance for the next corner. So you kind of have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, you certainly do. Far from ideal for a lot of drivers here today, but capping off the middle part of the season with another win here, DJ, you must be happy with how things are going. Any tracks coming up on the schedule that really jump out to you as places you're going to enjoy?
Ooh, I don't know what the schedule is. I think Spa's coming up.
Yes.
I don't particularly. I'm trying to pull up the calendar so I could see.
Well, Magny-Cours is the next round.
Yeah, I love Magny-Cours, and the Bend's super good. Yeah, Magny-Cours and the Bend. Those are going to be the standout tracks for the season. I think those 2 tracks are awesome.
Good to hear that you enjoy the bend from this Australian here. Well, DJ, thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations once again, and I'm sure we'll be chatting to you again next week.
If everything goes according to plan. Thanks, guys.
It usually does. DJ Alessandrini there, winning from pole position. We are now joined by Diego Del Real, who finished second, stood by with Zippy.
I gotta say, Diego, it looked like he was going to give DJ a run for his money there. Tell us exactly how hard it was to manage the tires in such an incredibly hot and humid race.
Yeah, it was pretty tricky. I was kind of trying to take an early apex in the S's a little bit, so I wasn't getting on the power too early and riding the outside rear tire on the exit, which was working okay. And then I was sticking with DJ, which felt pretty good, and then I just made a mistake at 130R. The car just hopped on the curb really weird on the right sent me into the wall a little bit, and I think that knocked the toe a little bit. But yeah, it was still fun. I really enjoyed the car at that track, and yeah.
Well, definitely fair play to you. It does take a serious set of talents to be able to stay up at the top of the pack in this field for sure, but we are indeed going to be heading over to Magny Cours. Are we going to be seeing you back here again here on WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League?
Yeah, I should be here next week, and look forward to it. I like that Magny Cours track a lot. The first sector with the high-speed corners is really fun, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed making his debut appearance here at WDCR, Mr. Diego Del Real, courtesy of Lizard Brains Podcast.
Indeed, and that is going to be second place on the podium, third place on the podium, Franz Hansen. The Porsche lockout here, Franz. You were under a lot of pressure from the McLaren, though, especially in the final laps.
Yeah, man. A lot of pressure from Chrissy. I had to keep Raul behind in the beginning, and to be able to finish ahead of guys like Chrissy, Leader, King, Denner. I mean, there's some speedsters there, so I'm really, really happy with that race.
As you should be. I asked a similar question to DJ. I think the conditions had a lot to do with the issues that many drivers were having. Do you think that your Porsche was dealing well with those hot track temperatures?
I was hot. My tires were hot right into like lap 4, and right away I had to like adjust bias, do a lot of things. So and they just stayed hot the whole time, pretty much. But at least they didn't go insane, out of control. They were just hot the whole time.
Well, you held on to it very nicely, and you granted a third place and a ton of championship points on our way into the second half of the season here. It's been a reasonably good season for many drivers thus far. You're obviously going to be hoping for some consistent podium finishes, maybe top 5s, to continue that run there.
Yeah, I tell you, if you can get a podium in this league, that's amazing, and to have 2 in a row with all the competition, that's a lot of fun.
Absolutely is. Well, congratulations on the third place, Franz. Hopefully there's a few more in your sights for the season to come. And yeah, we'll see. You'll see next week, potentially.
Thanks, Reese.
Excellent defense from Franz Hansen to grab third place there. Well, Zippy, I think that concludes our runnings for tonight. Another good round of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. I'm looking forward to Magny Cours next week. That's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the rivalry continue to expand. It's good to see DJ has indeed found some more competition, and certainly we'd love to get Ken Housel back as well. Absent this week, but we will indeed forgive him. Jack Chrissy and Franz Hansen, though, that'll probably be my my battle of the day. Absolutely fantastic defense by Franz Hansen. Fair play, Jack Chrissy representing McLaren very well. What a good way to have a birthday celebration, ladies and gentlemen. Getting into some good action there, fighting for the podium. But I've got to say, it's been an absolute belter. Reese, if you'd like to do the honors.
A big thanks to everyone watching on the Pit Road Productions YouTube channel, to all of our sponsors that we thanked at the top of the show for helping the Washington DC Region SCCA both in the real world and in the sim. And big congratulations to DJ Alessandrini on maintaining his 100% win record in the championship points paying races this season. I'm Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box, and also producing behind the scenes. We are Pit Road Productions, and we will see you next week in the French countryside.